Okay. About 24 hours ago, this was going to be a very different video. Various things here. Bit of background here. Got, two friends. One, little sis, seen her. Other one, strictly online, early day. I consider her a friend, but, we had some back and forth there. So I hope still, I think hopefully gotten back on even keel. But both have claimed to be trans, and one, to kid sis just wants to be non-binary and needs they them pronouns, and I've already gone round and round with her. So it's like, don't even pick up the phone. Okay, this is nothing we haven't talked before. Like I said, I've already told her flat out, you're not trans. You had a shitty childhood. That doesn't make you trans. Because, the one two similarity between the two, is never appeared to have any problem being female. It's just don't like what thing or so it's like that doesn't make you trans. Because the whole thing, a little more back. Once upon a time, the term trans, or short for transsexual, had a very definite meaning and very definite criteria to meet that definition. This was a clinical diagnosis. You had to go through and the ones who are truly trans, yes, they do know at a very young age that something's off. Because either and again, we're talking a very tiny percent, like 0.5%. You'd be lucky to fill a major stadium with the number of people in the total country who are truly trans. And these are people who are like, something is off in the genetic code with the little XY chromosomes there. Something, there's a misprint somewhere in there. And the more, blatant ones is like something's wrong with the genitalia, born with one testicle, one ovary, or something, something's malformed or whatever. And rightly or wrongly, the standard procedure was default to female because usually there's a vagina there and just nope, raise the kid as a girl because it's easier to castrate than try and do anything else. And again, that's a whole nother topic for another time because that has been abused horribly over the years. But that's not the same thing. There's been a push because the gay rights community, the activists, the hardcore activists, found themselves on the verge of getting out of a job once the gay marriage thing was, cleared the courts. And okay, it's fine. You can live your lives. Nobody cares. But if nobody cares anymore, they're out of a job. They have to keep going to the next cause. That's the thing. And just the perpetually outrage. Always have to have a cause to go after. They're never done. That's why they're dangerous, frankly. Now they're destroying this country bit by bit. But the gay rights thing was pretty much fait accompli. They've done. They've got everything. They can't be discriminated for rentals, rentals or accommodation thing or everything's there. If it's still going on, it's illegal and can be prosecuted. Same thing with racism, guys. All the racist, the institutionalized racism was done away with back in the 60s, especially with the Civil Rights Bill of 64. So if it's still out there, it is illegal and can be sued under the law. Quit protesting. Go after him legally. Okay? Leave the rest of us alone. We don't care anymore. That's the thing. We were at a point where racism as a cultural thing was pretty much dead. There were a few holdouts here and there, and then, yeah, like I said, you can go after them. Get my blessing. Go for it. Get rid of these dinosaurs. And the same thing with the gay rat thing. Nobody really gives a rat's ass. That's something that Matt Walsh put in the whole thing about the coming backlash with the transgender thing. It's like, you brought this on, people. We weren't bothering you. You were going for shit that nobody had. Okay, equal rights to go into whatever bathroom you want to. Nobody has that right to go into whatever bathroom they want to. And it's like, besides, just equal right. There's certain biological realities you got to realize here. Okay, having done a few janitorial jobs in my time, I've gotten to be able There we go. Let's try this again. Having done a few, and even just being as a little kid, your mom takes you into the women's room because you got to keep an eye on you. You've seen the ladies' room. The ladies' rooms are palaces, right? You got couches there. You know, everything's in a stall. You know. Whereas you must go to the men's room. Men's room's a pigsty, ladies. Okay, you don't want to get. You know, it's urinals which you can't use anyway. But you know, because the plumbing's the same for the most part. But you got to have some real good ab strength, and also generally mind dropping your pants down to your ankles because you don't have any kind of clearance out there. You got to because it's not going to be a real steady stream. But if you work out the abs there and do the kegels, yeah, you can. Girls can pee standing up. It's not exactly a neat process though. That's one advantage we do have with the little wangy. Is we can get a little bit of distance there and regulate the stream, but that's about it. Okay. In later years, you find yourself sitting down and being up, because you don't feel like standing up anymore. You're going to take a chance to sit down once in a while. But yeah, men's rooms are not nearly as nice as women's rooms. Okay, trust me. I mean, the typical women's restroom is a freaking lounge. Okay. With men's rooms, you're just there to pee, poop, and get the hell out of there. You're not supposed to hang out. You got the urinals, you got the toilets, and you got sinks to clean up in case you do something stupid. You don't quite handle the toilet paper right, and you shit in your hands. That's it. But moving on. And they kept pushing on. And well, we've already got everything. Well, yeah. How about transsexuals? Yeah, we haven't done the trans rights for a while. That and finds out that that's an even tinier percentage than the gay population, which is maybe 1 to 2%. We're talking 0.5%. So, well, that's not enough to base anything. We need to broaden the definition. That's it. Now it's no longer if you just feel like changing. Okay, yeah, okay. By that definition, I was probably trans 5 or 6 times this past week. You think it's unusual to get tired of being whatever you are, not just gender, but whatever. I got a very strong female half my personality. I even named her Cassie. Okay, she can be a bit of a bitch, and she's been yelling at me for the past week on various things. It's a matter of finding an outlet. And I found various things. Cause I tried on it was an old BBS one time we were doing. I decided to try a little thought experiment on my own, and it set her up with her own little profile and personality. She went after a few dudes. Okay, it wasn't pretty. He's a vicious little minx. Okay, so yeah, okay, we don't let her out in public anymore. But I do let her loose on various other things. Usually dealing with music or video games are fun. Now when I'm playing Fortnite, 9 times out of 10 I'm playing a female skin, and that's give her an outlet. Okay, yeah, have fun. But there are you cannot be denied. There are people who openly proclaim that they've gotten into the area of therapy and stuff, and they are pushing agendas. That's what you're getting. These people have gotten into pushing kids to convincing them they're trans. And 13, 14, 15, I can pull up videos of various ones who got suckered into thinking they were trans when there was something else going on. I'm not saying these kids are perfectly normal, well-adjusted. No, they have issues, okay? There's oftentimes some abuse involved, or just the craziness of going through puberty and entering adulthood and wondering, what do you want to... Next, Bill Maher said on this thing, used to be, you asked a kid a question, what do you want to be when you grow up? You were talking about their job, You weren't talking about the whole thing. And it's time. And then again, I'm afraid some people I care about a great deal, they're going to get caught up in this. But you push far enough, when the pendulum swings back, the pendulum becomes a wrecking ball. And it's going to lay waste to a lot of crap coming back. When people get frustrated, they enough. You have done enough damage. Shut the hell up. Go back in the corner, or we will deal with you later once we repaired the damage you guys have done. Like, it's, race relations have been horrible, mangled for no good reason. And the thing is, the reason why they were bad 60 years ago, there was very good reason for that. Now it's like, no, we've had couple of Supreme Court justices, black Supreme Court justices, fairly highly esteemed ones too. We got a 2-term black president. We have black senators, black congressmen, black governor. Racism's over for the most part. Okay, there's still some holdouts, but the societal thing, it's been dead for years. The OJ trial was a big thing there. Yeah, a black guy got off on a murder charge. Hey, see, it can happen. Even when later he appeared to be guilty of sin. He did kill that bitch. Okay, getting off into the weeds here. But you got these people. It's like there aren't enough trans people. Well, let's expand the definition to include anybody. It's become totally meaningless now. You just feel like you want to change genders for you're trans. And it doesn't, I don't care, you got one therapist or a team of therapists, or, if they're all drawn from the same damn playbook and the same current protocols, it's going to lead to the same line of crap. Okay. And you need to sometimes look outside the box a bit. Okay. So let's just, if you're a girl, kind of tired of playing the girl thing, you actually like a lot of, typically boy activities. You're tired of wearing a dress. You want to wear a t-shirt and jeans. There used to be a term for that. Tomboy. You like what you like. Dress how you like, but you don't have to overturn your entire lifestyle and deny your basic, biological being. That's why I don't like playing the pronoun game. You're trying to, these people are trying to change the English language to where, again, pronoun meaningless. You do it. No, it doesn't work that way. English pronouns, the way it's evolved to this point. I mean, it got weird early when they're still forming, but at this point, you have he, him, his, male, her, she, female, it, inanimate object, and they, them, theirs, plural. That's it. And how you determine them, it's pretty hard and fast. If you're a boy, there's a certain amount of personal agency involved here, but for the most part, really no. Okay, and this is why I want to, the entire concept of tomboy seems to be under direct assault and is really hanging on by its fingernails, because we can't have that. If you like guy things, you're a guy. You can't take both. Yes, you can take both ways. Okay, you can like whatever the hell you like, because this thing about one knockdown drag out have a kid, but let's say you're I'm not going to be, but you want me to go back to being that shivering little girly back in the corner. I didn't say that. My definition of girl has nothing to do with characteristics of behavior. It's just you're an innie or an outie. If you're an innie, you're a girl. What you do with it is up to you. But to my mind, that does not determine what you like, how you act, or anything else like that. It's simply biological identifier. You are a female of the species. You are the part that is capable of bearing offspring. The male is the thing capable of planting the seed to provide offspring, but. Beyond that, it's on, whatever the hell you want to do, okay? You want to play a Tonka trucks or, Tonka trucks or Barbie dolls? I don't give a shit, really. You're not intruding on my left, whatever, okay? But I do get concerned if it's someone I happen to care about and they're wanting to upend their entire life over what basically amounts to a whim. And I don't care how much it's affirmed by everything. If it's wrong, it's wrong. Okay, I still believe in objective reality here. But I can only rant so much. You do you. Okay, I can advise, but it's not like I can fly out somewhere and stop somebody. Okay, especially someone's probably kicking my ass in my broken down state right now. But I'm just saying, like, take a step back and girls, no, you don't want to be a guy. Trust me on this, okay? It's not as great as it's cracked up to be. If we were on fans, I'd stand, because I'm not really wearing any pants right now, so I just stand. Look, this is not right, okay? Outside of its basic function, it's just there, It's exposed, it's vulnerable. It kind of traps the sweat up a lot. It's a pain in the ass, okay? You don't, wearing pants is, can be a pain in the butt because you don't, want to get, want to get snug enough so it stays put, but it's like you're squishing the goodies. It's not fun, okay? But let's do a strap-on. Unless you've done some kind of bionic thing, that strap-on is not connected to the nerve ending. So yeah, you can stroke it all you want. Not going to do anything. Whereas guys, sometimes if I'm just rubbing up against stuff, multiple organs is also a bit of a problem with a guy too. It's usually one shot. That's it. We're done. We're done for the night. You might be able to cuddle a bit, but as far as that's done. We've shot our wad. We're done. But look, like I said, just trying. I'm trying. Lead the fight. Bring back the concept of the tomboy. You can like all the guy things you want. Still be a girl. Don't need to upend your entire life. Deny what God gave you there. Because when you do the thing of like you got to choose a gender, no, you don't choose a gender. Gender is that's another thing. They totally trying to upend the entire concept of sex and genders, and this doesn't mean nothing. A little warning here. Anytime a civilization that started going that, the Romans started going down this path. Seriously, there was a big throw the gender definitions out the window. It's even addressed obliquely in the Bible, but you have to know what's going on to know what the hell they're talking about. And the end result was you totally just gutted Roman society. And by the time the barbarians came knocking, there was nobody left willing to defend the empire. They just walked right in. Hi, we're taking over. Okay. The emperor at the time was like a 14-year-old kid who walked in, out. All right. They last 1,000 years, and then overnight, you're done. And again, not to sound alarmist, but we're going down that path, and it is not just cultural. It is being deliberately done by these people. They're trying to upend society to remake it in their own image. The one saving grace is they don't know how to build anything. So it's probably not going to work. There's too many. We're a hell of a lot bigger than the Roman Empire ever was. Okay? And too many people remember what it was like just a couple of years ago. And the country is actually starting to, okay, this is more like it. And so, they're great at tearing things down and upending, and we're going to remake this out. Yeah, you don't know how to make anything, though. Yeah, you can tear it down, great, but now what do you do? Because they're trying to think they're going to remake human nature. Not going to happen. We have made some progress on evolutionary things of how to growing and not necessarily killing each other because somebody's eyes are two different colors. Which that doesn't happen anymore. At least not this side of the pond. There are certain parts of the world it probably still does, but for the most part, we've learned to figure out a lot of stuff, and we managed to get our crap together. But you're not going to change certain fundamental aspects of human behavior. Yeah. And, anytime you got a group of people who think they can make people better through whatever means, they can improve humanity. Things have not ended well. That was the goal of the Nazis, which was an outgrowth of the, that part of the thing was our outgrowth of the eugenics things of the 20s. Well, look what we've done with cattle and horses. Imagine what we can do with people, That leads to some of the horrible racist and discriminatory things and just total lack of freedoms. And that just leads to desolation and ruin when everyone realizes what's going on and they fight back, and especially realize there's a hell of a lot more of us than there are of them. And that's kind of the Matt Walsh thing. It's like, this is not going to be pretty when that pendulum swings back. It just, because you feel like, because I think it was Jesse Waters, I think, but there was a poll recently. Just, how many gays and trans people are there that people think there are compared to how much there really are? Because the poll saying people think like, 30, 40% gay and 20% trans. Not even close. Gays and lesbians, 2%, Trans, half percent at best. And we're going to totally destroy society on account of these guys. No, they deserve protections and rights and everything else, but it's like, no, we're not going to overturn society just so you can use whatever bathroom you want to. And for the most part, it's like any gal who's been to a football game, and down the line at the ladies' room, stretching halfway back out to the stands, and the guys just coming in and out. There's been a few, bold ladies just duck in. Guys don't care. They're not there to do anything. He comes in, do the toilet, out. Who cares? You're lucky if it's one where there's at least some partitions between the toilets. If it's just open, toilets, nothing. I won't even use it. I'll figure out something else. And I go back to Bill Maher thing. It's like, because it was, a thing a while back about the whole bathroom thing. It's like, look, it's really simple. If you look like a guy, use the men's room. If you look like a girl, use the ladies' room. And if you look like a guy in a dress, hold it till you get home. But before we just totally destroy everything we've got here, it's like, if you're a gal thinking, I wish I was a guy, it's like, and you're not buying things, you really don't, trust me on this. But if you really just like guy things, don't want to do the hair and makeup thing, you just want to dress in a t-shirt and shorts thing. No one's saying you can't do that. That's, The tomboy option is still there. It's not a dirty word. It's not an insult. Guys love tomboys. In the movies, the tomboy is generally the best character of the whole bunch. So I'm just saying, just consider the options. And this whole trans movement of pushing everything's got to be trans. Everyone's trans. And the entire country's going to be trans. And general mean a damn thing. It's like, you think it's opening up options, it's denying you others. Okay, it's like you don't have to totally change everything about yourself. You realize you don't want to do things anymore. Because I'm more interested in instead of trying to narrowly define yourself, in some ways you're really not defining, embracing everything. It's a part of you. Everything's a part of you. Like this other friend online. It's like, I mean, there's fairly well documented evidence as a girl for over 20 something years suddenly decides, I think I'm a guy. This just really. I mean, did you ever, and they have these things growing up? It's like, did you ever think you're a guy growing up? No, we're just happen to like guy things. Not the same thing. Tomboy. There's your out right there. You can like what you like, dress how you want, but you don't have to, strap on things that don't belong. Start trying to rearrange things, and worst case, start chopping parts off that were perfectly fine, just because you don't, because that's a case of you just crossed the Rubicon. There's no going back on this one. Yeah, they can build you up a new one, but it's like not really the same. And hormones aren't much better because they result in permanent changes. There's a couple of detransitioners of and frankly, more than a few. Might have been all of them. If they've been on testosterone before, fairly high, before they went in, fairly high pitched female voices, like them, a little higher than they liked probably at the time. After T, they got lower voices than mine. They can sing duets with Avery Brooks, and that's usually the big regret is that they've destroyed their voices because the testosterone does physical changes. It drops the larynx and stuff, opens the throat, and you can't, correcting that is, let's say, difficult and expensive at best, and you're still not going to get your old voice back. And another problem is hair, because another aspect, there's a few aspects of testosterone you need to keep in mind that they probably don't advertise much. I mean, besides, just square the jaw, but also the hair is no longer going to be as thick as it once was. And is a big problem because that's, where, okay, there we go. Because recently Kid Sis was put on some testosterone gel to deal with an injury. And while, yeah, it did kind of help deal with a bit of a potbelly issue, along with everything else, there was also where we're going back and forth, and I'm just yanking her chain a little bit. But I got to look back like she was ready to rip out my liver through my nose. And I recognize, yeah, okay, this is not normal reaction. We've had full on screaming matches, but I've never gotten that look out of her before. It's like, okay, yeah, testosterone is a mind altering substance, okay. And if you haven't grown up with it since like the age 11, when it starts kicking in, most boys, you're not going to be ready for it. Getting raised out of for nothing. Most. I apologize for the Wi-Fi. Has been screwed. But yeah, I think I've pretty much said all I need to say about this, and hopefully not done any damage. It's really getting weird here. Okay, so I think I'm going to wrap it up out here. Because I think the chat's disabled anyway. I don't know. But anyway, like I said, summation. Girls, you want to be guys? No, you don't. You really don't. It's not worth it. It may seem, a lot easier, but there's other aspects of like that are a pain in the ass that you don't want to deal with. Yeah. For one thing, it's like you don't have the option of, marrying some guy and having him take care of you. No, you're the breadwinner. You got to come up with it. My situation is bizarre, but even I'm still. And my hair, I haven't even gotten the balls by going back here, but this used to be pretty damn good up until about age 30. And I got dealt a whack when I had to go in for ruptured appendix and anesthetic. Because anesthetic is really you are slightly poisoning the body to go into a bit of a coma, and it has effects. Okay. Oh, it's like you're deliberately ingesting poison to play chicken with the tumor, hoping the tumor dies before you do. That's why you get so damn sick on the shit. Anyway, that's a whole other thing entirely. No, I think I've ranted enough about this. But just before you start thinking I'm trans because I like this and this and don't like that and that. No, you're not. You just don't like this and this and like that. It has nothing to do with what you got between your legs, probably. Because if you are largely fine with your body, you're not trans. You just like weird things, okay? Or just different thing, If a girl and you like playing, Call of Duty, or collecting GI Joes instead of Barbies, it doesn't make you trans. It just makes you a tomboy. And there's nothing wrong with that. Again, guys love tomboys. They've been acceptable for centuries. I'm not even sure Joan of Arc, really qualified as a tomboy. She put on the armor, for the same, but she didn't do it in her private life. I don't think. When she wasn't on the field, she was, regular girl. She was just Joan. But anyway, that's speculation. Anyway, off there. We got a half an hour. That's enough, I think. So, your thoughts in the comments as well, and by the way, also PayPal link in the description because we really need to get this channel back up and running and something. Should put a Star Trek related thing here. Just watched this last week's Picard. Yeah, this is going. The only squiggle I got about the portrayal of a certain character that returns, I don't want to spoil because it spoils a lot. But let's say the certain character, they didn't quite get the makeup right. Certain things just, if they'd done that, it'd been perfect. But otherwise, absolutely, outstanding episode. And again, the first four, those are by all accounts the weakest of the bunch, and that was pretty slam bang that, So if it's only improving from here, we're in for a hell of a ride. And I think I will probably save any reviews probably for the end of the thing, because I'm just it's tough to do a review if you like it. Really, it's easy to do a review if you hate it and it's a piece of crap. You can nitpick things. Yeah, they got that wrong. This one, all I got is the prosthetic on someone's nose. That's the only complaint I got, really. Otherwise, anyway, I'm gonna wrap this up here because I need to get some replay value on this thing, and half hour is about right. So we'll talk at you later.